She gave my service dog a pot brownie and laughed. Chill, it's just weed, I said. And that's assault. When the vet bill hit $5 and criminal charges were filed, the chill vibes ended in court. I, 28 male, have PTSD from my time in the military. Not going into details, but it's bad enough that I qualified for a service dog 2 years ago. Ranger is a 4-year-old German Shepherd who literally saves my life daily. He alerts to panic attacks, performs deep pressure therapy, and guides me out of dissociative episodes. He's not a pet, he's medical equipment that happens to have 4 legs and likes belly rubs. Last weekend was my cousin's birthday party. Backyard thing, maybe 30 people. I knew most of them, felt comfortable enough to go. Ranger was in his vest, clearly marked service dog, do not pet. Enter Skylar, 26, my cousin's girlfriend's sister. First time meeting her, she immediately zeroed in on Ranger. OMG, what a beautiful dog, can I pet him? Sorry, no, he's working. Working? He's literally just lying there. He's monitoring me, that's his job. She rolled her eyes but seemed to drop it. About an hour later, I was talking to my uncle when Ranger suddenly got up and started pawing at me. His alert for an impending panic attack. I excused myself and went to a quiet corner of the yard to do my grounding exercises. Ranger did exactly what he's trained to do. When we came back, Skylar was watching. That's so fake, she said to her friend, loud enough for me to hear. He probably just trained his dog to do that for attention. I ignored her. I've heard worse. Later, I went inside to use the bathroom. Left Ranger in a downstay by my chair. He's trained to hold position unless I'm in actual danger. Was gone maybe 5 minutes. Came back to find Skylar crouched next to him, feeding him something. What are you doing? She jumped up giggling. Relax, just giving him a treat. Poor thing looked hungry. What treat? Just a brownie, homemade. My blood went cold. A regular brownie? More giggling. Well, special brownie. But chill, it's just weed. Dogs need to relax too. I immediately checked Ranger's mouth, chocolate crumbs. His eyes were already looking glassy. You gave my service dog a pot brownie? Oh my God, don't be so dramatic, it's organic. I scooped up Ranger, all 80 pounds of him, and ran to my car. Called the emergency vet on the way. They told me to get there immediately. Chocolate is toxic to dogs and THC toxicity can be fatal. As I'm loading Ranger into my car, Skylar followed me out. You're seriously overreacting. My friend's dog ate an edible once and was fine. And that's assault, she laughed. Assault? On a dog? Please, he's a service animal. You just committed a federal crime. Whatever, drama queen. It's just weed. I didn't have time to argue. Ranger was starting to stumble. The next 12 hours were hell. Ranger had severe THC toxicity combined with chocolate poisoning. He had seizures. He lost control of his bladder. At one point, the vet wasn't sure he'd make it. But he did. My boy pulled through. The vet bill? $5,327.43. I filed a police report the next day. Showed them the vet records, Ranger's service dog certification, and the receipt. They took it seriously. Very seriously. Skylar's about to learn that it's just weed. Doesn't fly when you poison a service animal. Update 1. The entitlement is off the charts, y'all. So after filing the police report, I also sent Skylar a formal demand letter for the vet bills through my lawyer. My buddy from the service does disability law now. Included the itemized vet bill, photos of Ranger in the hospital, and a copy of the police report. Her response? She showed up at my apartment. Not alone either. Brought her mom, Patricia, and her stepdad, Gordon. They knocked on my door at 8 p.m. like they were coming to negotiate a hostage situation. Patricia started immediately. Skylar told us about the misunderstanding at the party. Misunderstanding? She poisoned my service dog. She gave him a treat. She didn't know chocolate was bad for dogs. She knew it was a pot brownie. She told me it was. Gordon jumped in. Look, son, we understand you're upset about the vet bill. What if we pay half? Call it even. Half. Your daughter committed a crime. The bill is the least of her problems. Skylar, who'd been quiet, finally spoke. This is insane. It was an accident. You accidentally fed my service dog a pot brownie? I didn't know he'd react like that. Some dogs handle edibles fine. So you've done this before? Her mom tried to redirect. What's done is done. Surely we can work this out without involving lawyers and police. Your daughter poisoned a service animal? That's a federal offense under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Up to $1,000 fine and 90 days in jail just for injuring a service animal. Add in the state charges for animal cruelty and possession of marijuana in an illegal form. Skylar went pale. Possession? I didn't have any on me. You fed it to my dog. That's possession and distribution. To a dog, to a service dog. In front of witnesses. After being told not to interact with him. Patricia pulled out her checkbook. What if we pay the full vet bill right now? Cash. And Skylar apologizes. The criminal charges aren't going away because you write a check. This is ridiculous. Gordon stood up. It was a mistake. You're ruining a young woman's life over a dog. Ranger isn't just a dog. He's medical equipment. What if someone gave your insulin pump sugar water as a joke? Would that be okay? That's not the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. They left after more arguing. Skylar was crying about how I was being vindictive and trying to destroy her life. No, Skylar. You destroyed your own life when you poisoned my dog for fun. But she wasn't done. Oh no. This girl decided to double down in the worst way possible. Update 2. I'm actually shaking typing this. So remember how Skylar thought this would all go away? Yeah, about that. First, she tried the social pressure route. Started posting on social media about how her friend's brother, subtle Skylar, was pressing charges over a simple mistake and valuing an animal over human compassion. Her friends ate it up. Comments about how it's just a dog and mistakes happen and sounds like he's money hungry. My cousin, whose party this was, sent me screenshots. I didn't respond publicly, but I did send the screenshots to my lawyer. Documentation is everything. Then came the investigation. Turns out when the police interviewed party guests, multiple people saw Skylar with a Tupperware of brownies. She'd been offering them to everyone, making sure to special with a wink. At least 3 people confirmed she was told not to give any to Ranger specifically. One witness, my cousin's friend Jerome, even heard her say, "Watch this, it'll be hilarious," before approaching Ranger while I was in the bathroom. Premeditated. Not a mistake. Intentional. The detective called me with an update. They were upgrading charges. Animal cruelty, assault on a service animal, and possession with intent to distribute. That's when Skylar panicked. Really panicked. She called my work. I'm a software developer at a small company. We're tight-knit. My boss, Rashid, knows about my PTSD and has been incredibly supportive about Ranger being in the office. So when Skylar called claiming to be concerned about my mental stability and saying I was unstable and vindictive, Rashid wasn't having it. He transferred her to me. Why are you calling my work? You won't answer my calls. I need you to drop the charges. That's not how criminal charges work. The state presses charges, not me. But you started this. You reported it. You poisoned my service dog. I've apologized. No, you haven't. You've made excuses and tried to pay your way out. What do you want from me? I want my dog to not have been poisoned. Since that's impossible, I want justice. She hung up on me. But the real kicker came yesterday. Ranger and I were at the dog park. He's recovered, thank God, but still building back his stamina. It's a members-only park where I pay $50 a month specifically because it's quiet and controlled. Guess who showed up? Not just Skylar. Skylar with 2 friends and their dogs. At my dog park. She saw me and made a beeline over, all fake smiles. Oh, hey, funny running into you here. Look, Ranger seems fine. You need to leave. It's a public park. It's a private park. Members only. And there's a restraining order hearing next week, so you being here is stalking. Her friends looked uncomfortable. One pulled out her phone, clearly recording. I'm just trying to show you I'm a dog lover. See? Would a dog lover hurt a dog on purpose? You literally poisoned my dog on purpose. It was a mistake. God, why can't you just move on? That's when Ranger did something I've never seen him do off duty. He growled, low, warning growl. Step between me and Skylar. Your dog is aggressive. Did you see that? He growled at me. He's protecting me from a threat. That's literally his job. I'm recording this. Your service dog is dangerous. Her friend with the phone looked mortified. Skylar, let's just go. No, he needs to see I'm not a bad person. I made one mistake. The park manager, Tony, must have seen the commotion. Came over asking if everything was okay. This woman poisoned my service dog. There's a criminal case pending. She needs to leave. Tony didn't hesitate. Ma'am, I need you to leave the premises. But I didn't do anything. I'm just here with my friends. You're harassing a member. Leave now or I call the police. She left, but not before shouting, this isn't over. I'll prove you're crazy. The friend who was recording actually stopped on the way out. Quietly said, I didn't know about the service dog thing. I'm sorry. Then she left me her number. If you need this video for court, not all heroes wear capes. Some just have functioning moral compasses. Court date is in 2 weeks. Can't wait to see how Skylar explains stalking me to a judge. Final update, justice served. Ice cold. The criminal trial was last week. Skylar showed up in a sundress looking like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. Her lawyer, expensive-looking suit, tried everything. Defense strategy 1. It was just a prank gone wrong. Prosecutor shows video from the party of Skylar saying, "Watch this. It'll be hilarious." Judge premeditated pranks that involve poisoning service animals. Aren't pranks, they're crimes. Defense strategy 2. She didn't know chocolate was toxic to dogs. Prosecutor presents Skylar's Instagram posts about her own dog, including one warning followers about chocolate toxicity from 2 years ago. Skylar's face, Pikachu shock meme. Defense strategy 3. The dog seems fine now. No permanent damage. Me testified about the ongoing anxiety I have about Ranger's health. The 2 weeks of work I missed, the additional training needed to ensure he could still perform his duties. Vet testified about the severity of Ranger's condition and potential long-term effects. Judge attempted murder doesn't become legal just because the victim survives. But the kill shot. Remember the friend who recorded Skylar at the dog park? She testified for the prosecution. Turns out in the car after leaving the park, Skylar had bragged about how she was going to prove he's crazy and make him drop the charges, or else the friend Bethany had kept recording. Skylar's lawyer actually put his head in his hands when that audio played. The verdict, guilty of assault on a service animal, federal misdemeanor, guilty of animal cruelty, state charge, guilty of possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, guilty of stalking from the dog park incident, sentencing 60 days in jail served on weekends, 3 years probation, $10,000 fine, 200 hours community service at an animal shelter, mandatory drug counseling, permanent criminal record. But wait, there's more. The civil suit was settled out of court. Her parents paid $5,327, $43 for the original vet bills, $3,200 for additional training and behavioral assessment for Ranger, $4,500 for my lost wages and therapy, $12,000 in punitive damages, total $25,027.43. Skylar also had to write a letter of apology, not to me, to Ranger. The judge made her read it aloud in court. I'm not gonna lie, watching her apologize to my dog while he sat there in his vest looking dignified was chef's kiss. The best part? She violated probation within a week, posted on Instagram about how the justice system is broken, and she was persecuted for a simple mistake. Her probation officer saw it. Pro tip: don't add your PO on social media. Violation of the no social media posts about the case rule. Extra 30 days in jail, not weekends, straight time. Her parents cut her off. Her friend group distanced themselves. Bethany told me they were horrified when they learned the truth. She lost her job at a dispensary, yeah, the irony, because of the drug charges. Last I heard, she was working at a fast food place and living with a roommate she found on Craigslist. Still posting about how she's a victim of the system, but now it's on a private account with like 12 followers. As for Ranger and me, we're doing great. He passed all his recertification tests with flying colors. Still alerts to my panic attacks like a champ. Started doing some community education about service dogs to prevent this from happening to others. The trauma of almost losing him messed me up for a while. Not gonna lie. But my therapist says it's normal to have setbacks after someone deliberately tries to harm your lifeline. To everyone saying I ruined her life, no. She ruined her own life when she decided to poison a service dog for laughs. I just made sure she faced consequences. And before anyone asks, yes, I still go to family events. My cousin banned Skylar permanently, said anyone who would poison a dog is a welcome in her life. Sometimes the good guys and dogs win. Stay safe out there, and please, please don't touch service dogs. And definitely don't feed them pot brownies. Ranger says woof. That means thanks for all the support. Throw RA service dog drama. P.S. For those asking, Ranger got a clean bill of health at his 1-month follow-up. Vet says he's back to 100%. Best boy is still the best boy.